You got challenges that you're going to run across.
And it kind of goes back to this last thing I want to talk. Is this the last one in the book here? No, it might be one more. But you say, no, it might be this one. Math, M-A-T-H, runs the world. Math runs the world. What are you saying about that?
Yeah, there still is a lot to be said for doing the numbers on a regular basis. So, you can't beat the numbers, So, that's why you have to come up with your number. Most people fiddle fart around with their prospecting, what I call now opportunity outreach. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
You have to have a whole new lexicon. You got to understand.
Opportunity outreach.
If you're talking to your people about prospecting, you're talking about 1912 Dale Carnegie stuff. Remember, 1912, the Titanic went down. Right? So don't be using Dale Carnegie's words. I'm not saying that Dale Carnegie's techniques weren't good, but you have to rename them.
Yeah, exactly.
The mind goes,
right.
Prospecting.
Prospect.
But your opportunity outreach, math runs the world, because you've got to decide, did I do my 10 calls? Did I get 10 conversations today?
Right.
And if you didn't get 10 conversations, you got to say tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day. And you'll usually, if you look at your tracker, I put a tracker in here. If you look at your tracker and you go, did I talk to 50 people this week about my product, service, or my idea? Most people won't come close. But I'm telling you, what you need is 50 phone to ear video calls at the grocery store, in a seminar, on a webinar. You need 5 to 10. I think 10 per day is good. 10 per day is that. Now, that doesn't mean a full presentation. But by the way, I know we're running short here, but you mentioned the telling the story. Can I show your audience how to tell that 2.5 hour story?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me tell you the story of Double Your Contacts.
Okay.
All right. See if you can time me. Okay. Here's the story of Double Your Contacts. I was 43 years old. My wife divorced me. I was living in a little apartment. Actually, I just moved back into my house. My son, Corey, came to live with me. I had no income other than some consulting income that I had. My expenses were $10,000 a month, and I was pulling in $2,000 a month in sales training. I was in deep, deep trouble. Every morning, I wondered if I would be able to survive and take care of my son, Corey, who was 10 years old at the time. I met a gentleman who heard me speak at a network marketing event. He called me up and he said, we need to meet for breakfast. Turned out he was a Diamond Direct in Amway. He said to me, you need to write a book. I said, I do. He said, if you write a book, I will put you in front of 3,000 people. I said, nobody has 3,000 people. I speak to 50 people, 100 people. Nobody has 3,000 people. He goes, I didn't know anything about network marketing.
Right.
I got 3,000 people. I wrote the book. He liked the book. The book was Double Your Contacts. The first time I spoke about Double Your Contacts, I went to Hamilton, Ontario. There were 3,000 people in the audience. I had never spoken to 3,000 people. I didn't know how to speak to 3,000 people. I spoke that day in front of 3,000 people. We sold 3,000 books.
Wow.
That is the story of how Double Your Contacts was written. It took me 8.5 months to write it. Every morning I wrote Double Your Contacts. I would then get Corey up for school. I would get up at 5:30 in the morning, right till 6:30 or 7, get Corey up to school. And then the rest of the day, try to figure out how to pay my bills because I was going under.
Right.
Okay. I owed the IRS $265,000. The sales from this book paid off the IRS.
Wow.
We sold 330,000 copies. One team bought 58,000 copies.
Wow.
Charlie Tremendous Jones sold 27,000 copies for us to one team. He called me Tremendous MJ. He called me up. He said, "I've got your book, Tremendous MJ. I love your book, Tremendous MJ. I'd like to buy 27,000 of them." That we took that money and paid off the IRS.
Charlie was my guy too, man. I used to have our team order books from his company, and your book might have been even on his, because he had all these books that I would order directly from him. He always had a nickname for people because he called me Tony Fleming. You're the book evangelist. That's what you are. You're a book evangelist. So yeah, Charlie was great.
Now I want everybody to understand what I just did. Okay. When you tell a story, you got to stop selling.
That was 2.5. It was 2.5 minutes too.
2.5 minutes. Stop. Now, did that story wow you? Did that story impact you?
Yeah. Yes.
Stop selling the freaking drill. Okay. Stop leading with your product. There's 3 elements to a story. Number 1, there's the protagonist. There's the person in the story, the role. Here's what I just did. MJ was the guy in the role, right? Number 2, MJ had a desire. Okay. What was my desire? To raise my son, right? And to raise my son and recover from a divorce. Mm-hmm. What was my conflict? My conflict was I had no money. And I was in big trouble. When I told you that part of the story, did you go, "Oh man, you got divorced, raising your son by yourself? Wow." Okay. So I have a conflict. And then I had an answer. My answer was my product or my service. Don't do it backwards. Don't go, "I've got a solar project." Don't sell the solar first. Sell the story. You and the story. What was the desire? What is the conflict? Right? Don't sell the roof. Sell the story first and make the connection for the person. And once you make the connection, now that I've made that connection, people are going, "Boy, I really want to buy that book."
Right.
2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. The role, desire, conflict, the answer. Bam.
Wow. Man, that's some classic stuff there, man. Yep. I said that was the last one, but I kind of stressed the truth on that one. This is the one I really want you to talk about too, because I just talked about this the other day, and a lot of people don't like hearing this one. And they really don't. Balance is a myth. Balance is a myth.
Yeah. Well, balance equates with being under the shroud of the shroud and the cloud of denial, right?
Yeah.
So if you're balanced, you're probably comfortable. If you're balanced, they won't like this one. You're fat and happy.
Yes.
Yes. You're settled. You're not setting new destinations.
Yeah.
If you're not setting new destinations, look, when you set a new destination, guess what happens? Your balance gets all screwed up.
Yes.
Right? If you're going to set new destinations, if you want to go somewhere in life, I don't care if you've got the 5 million in the bank. You got the 5 million in the bank. What's your destination? Right? I was listening to Louise Hay talk the other day. Louise Hay, the owner of Hay House Publishing.
Right.
She goes, "When I was 65, I took a ballroom dancing class. When I was 70, I started gardening. When I was 80, I started this." Right. She's like,
you got to keep stretching.
Always setting new destinations. Yeah. So balance is a myth. You don't want to be. If you're balanced, you're probably going backwards.
Right.
When people meet me, they haven't seen me in 5 to 10 years, they go, "MJ, you're more on fire than you were when you were 40."
Right.
And I'm 62 now. Right. So, I got more fire in my eyes. I have more energy in my body because I keep setting new destinations. Right. I invented the podcast company. I said to my son, "I think we should do internal podcasts for companies." And my son goes, Dad, that's not even a thing. You can't even do an internal podcast. That doesn't even make sense. Podcasts are external. So we wrote some software and we invented an internal podcast.
Well, wait a minute. Tell me, that's the second time you said that. How does that work?
Yeah. So we invented a way that we could do the podcast. We could go into a company and we could record. What we do is we interview the people in the company to give us, best practices, what they love about the company, all the great things the company's doing, right? And then we put that in a podcast, and then we make that podcast with the software we developed. We make that podcast available only to the people in the company. So we do podcasts for Pfizer. We've done podcasts for AutoZone. We've done podcasts for Dollar General. We've done learning and development podcasts inside of companies, and they're only accessible to the people that receive an email and subscribe to the podcast. So that way it's not broadcast to the world. You can't find the podcast anywhere.
Right.
You can't find the Thomas Thor podcast, which is a podcast we do for a recruiting company in the nuclear business. You can't find the podcast, but every other week a training episode comes out for that company, and we've interviewed the top performers in that company, and then we put that across on a podcast.
Wow. Okay.
Right. And then they're able to hear the top performers and all of their secrets. Every 2 weeks they get a new episode, but it's all internal just for the people in that company.
That's cool, man. That's a good idea. Now they can't share it outside of the company.
Nope.
You can't put it on YouTube or nothing like that. It's only within.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah. So it keeps the information proprietary. Obviously if somebody really wanted to hack it, they could figure it out, but it's not that important. So,
right.
So we came up with that idea, and it's been a multi-million-dollar winner for us.
Man, they say it's plenty of money out here. You just got to think about how to get it. It's not like it's not out there. Just got to come up with an idea and work it.
I looked at a company. We talked to a company yesterday about doing a podcast for them. They were started in 2012. They're a technology company. I read what they do. I don't even understand what they do. Okay. Right. I don't even understand it. Application structure, blah, blah, blah. They have 2,000 employees. They started in 2012. In 2012, it's only 11 years ago, they invented some technology that's used in technology stuff.
Right.
And they have 2,000 people. And the gal says to me, she's the director of talent development. And she says, I would love to have our own internal podcast to communicate with our 2,000 people who are all around the world. She goes, I love this idea. I can't believe you guys came up with this. But the point is what you just said. 2012, a company now has 2,000 employees. How many multi-millions of dollars? I haven't made that much money in 11 years. Right. The ideas are there for you. It could be a social retailing company. Yeah. It could be a new market. It could be saving people money. It could be writing a book. It could be developing a process. It could be designing your own jewelry. It could be showing people on YouTube how you do your greenhouse stuff in your garden. Holy smokes. There are 200 ways. I want to say this to everybody right now because the Spirit is speaking to me right now. There are 200 ways for money to come into your family right now.
Right now.
There are 200 ways. All you need to do is tune into them and start deciding which ones are best for you. And the best way to do that is to tune in every day in silence for about 15 minutes and ask the question, what's a new way that I could create wealth, make money, protect my family, and give my family what they want? There are 200 ways for every single one of you to bring income in.
Wow. We could actually that was a Mike Tyson punch right there. So we can actually end with that one. We can actually end with that one.
It's right cross, left cross, jab, right?
Man, let people know how you can be reached and the best way to be reached.
Well, they can't.
We got your website scrolling across the screen, so they're going to see that. But
yeah. I think that's an old website. So, yeah, that might not help them.
Wait a minute, MJ Durkin seminars is not up.
Yeah, maybe not. We got so many new things going on.
You. Okay.
So, if you really want to reach me, contact Tony.
I'll reach out to you.
Contact Tony if you really want to reach. If you're really ready for change.
Yeah, exactly.
You better be really ready because I am
be ready.
Because MJ ain't playing. I'm not playing.
I'm gonna screen you.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. So, you can try to find my email address out there.
Right.
And you'll
I got you. We will. Yeah. We'll make sure they be able to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Through me or through somebody. We got you. Email.
If you go, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing 1 hour and 38 minutes I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Which, I have to admit, it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was. It really was. All right, folks. Go hit the subscribe button. Y'all know what y'all need to do. Hit the all button, all that. And the third most famous MJ in the world, MJ Durkin, sir. And I appreciate you being here. We're going to get you back, you and your son. We're going to get you back when that new book comes out. All right? All right. We out of here, sir. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Success to everyone.
Many people wonder if there's a secret to winning lottery games. The answer is yes. Winners only Lotto. Discover how to make $1,000, $10,000, or even $225,000 daily by playing the right games with the highest odds. The games to focus on are Pick 3, Pick 4, and in some states, Pick 5. Utilizing AI to track patterns in these games simplifies winning, with millions being distributed every day. This information can be easily verified on any official state lottery website. Join today or get more information by clicking the link below. See you on the winning side.
Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.